The love between a brother and a sister has turned sour as we are witnessing a violent scene that almost took the life of a sister. I'm talking about the former member of parliament for Dome-Kwabenya, Sarah Adwoa Safo, and her younger brother, Kwadwo Safo Akofena. Following the death and in preparation towards the funeral of their father, the brother and sister love has taken a fatal turn. On Sunday, just this Sunday, 3 days ago, there was a very violent clash between the private security personnel of Akofena and lawyer Sarah Adwoa Safo, which almost took her life. So my question is, what is really happening? What is going on between the brother and the sister? Why should this turn this bloody to the extent that somebody is willing to kill for it? What is really going on? This is the Real Talk. My name is Ameyao. This incident follows a conflict that has been brewing after the demise of their father, who happens to be the founder of the Kristo Asafo Church or community. And I mean, we are told that before the father departed from the earth, Akofena happened to be the chief executive officer of the company. So the father had actually made him the chief executive officer of his company and also the leader of the church. But we have been also given a contradictory information by Osebo, who happens to be a very renowned fashion designer and one of the top fashionistas that we have in Ghana here. Actually, he also happens, as we have been told, that he was very close to the family of Apostle Kwadwo Safo Kantanka. Now, according to Osebo, the father, before he died, had disowned Akofena as the CEO of the company, and all his properties, assets, and everything had been seized from Akofena. And also, he had been told not to lead the church any longer. So, Akofena had been also overthrown as the leader of the church by the father. And we are told by Osebo that there was an old constitution that made Akofena the leader of the father's church, but then the constitution was amended. So in the new constitution, there's supposed to be a new leader who has to be elected by the church leadership and all that. And this has, actually resulted in a major conflict because to Osebo and the children, the other children of Apostle Safo Kantanka, which includes Adwoa Safo, Akofena is not supposed to come close to the father's legacy for now, because they are yet to look at who actually is the leader or should be appointed as the leader. However, on Sunday, there was an installation ceremony of Akofena as the leader of the church. And this turned very violent because we are told that lawyer Sarah Adwoa Safo drove to the venue, and we don't know what really happened, but we all of a sudden heard that she had been shot. So we saw videos of her car riddled with bullets and all that. And there have been questions around this. I mean, what really transpired? What went on? Now, I have taken my time to analyze the videos and all that to look at what could have been a possibility here. Following the incident, there are conflicting reports. According to a press statement by the church, there was no shooting incident. But according to the lawyer of the church, there were some warning shots. And according to police report, there was a shooting incident. But we are also told that Adwoa Safo rammed her car into the gates of the house, the residence of Akofena, because the event was happening in his residence. And we are told of a north and south gate of the residence. And according to reports, Adwoa Safo drove directly into the north gate of the residence and also rammed her vehicle into the south gate of the residence, destroying the gates, which led to the shootout. So we are told that Adwoa Safo, according to the lawyer of the church, in an interview on Joy News, Adwoa Safo was the first to fire a shot, and the private security personnel of Akofena returned the shots by giving a warning shot that went directly into her car.
After the ceremony, after the ceremony, they heard a very loud bang. And there are two gates, the northern gate and the southern gate. So they heard a loud bang at the southern gate. And then people were surprised. The bang came again, and then we realized that it was a car which was banging at the gate and wanted to enter. So I think there was a three bang. So she banged, and they got to realize that it was Honorable Adwoa Safo who was in the car. So since she couldn't penetrate the gate through with her car, she went to the northern gate. After that, and then she repeated the same thing. She banged it. She banged the second one, and then the security apparatus, the private security, indicated to her that no, what she's doing will cause casualty, because there were still people in the premises. Because when you enter through the gate with your car, you don't know who you can walk over or drive over with a car. So they started firing warning shots to prevent her from coming. The briefing I got was that she fired the first shot.
Now, I've taken my time to assess the videos from all angles, and some things do not add up for me. It's very confusing. This is one of the most confusing stories or incidents that I could ever come across. So let's just analyze what we have seen or what we have been told. I wasn't there, you were not there, but we have seen the videos. Now, we are told that Adwoa Safo was the one to fire a shot, or the one to start the riot. So she rammed her car into the gates of the residence. The private security personnel of Akofena were on alert, and they returned with warning shots. When you look at the videos very well, you see a car that is not ruined by any impact whatsoever. So if indeed Adwoa Safo rammed her car into the gates of the residence, and when you look at the gate very well, it is very much destroyed. Don't you think that after smashing her car into the gates and looking at the impact, there should be some indication that the car has been mangled in a way, or there should be some sort of evidence to show that this car indeed rammed into the gates? Because you can't tell me that a car really rammed into the gate and caused this impact and nothing happened to the car. And if this is the same car we are told she was driving, then it begs a lot of questions as to whether or not she indeed rammed her car into the gates. Another thing that I found very, very confusing is that Adwoa Safo was the one who fired the shots first. Okay, now Adwoa Safo, we are told, was the one driving the car. So she should be in the front seat, the driver's seat. So if indeed she fired the shots, I'm wondering, I'm just thinking, don't you think the windscreen should have some bullets? Like she might have fired through the windscreen. And if she didn't fire through the windscreen, as a driver with one hand on the wheel, so how did Adwoa maneuver her way to shoot through the side window? Is it with the left hand and fired into the people? I'm just wondering. And if she didn't do that, but went into the passenger seat in the front seat of the car, then, I mean, she might have rolled down the window in some way. So does it mean that Adwoa took her time to roll down the window and shot into the people? Now, we are told that Akofena's private security personnel fired warning shots. But when you look at the videos circulating around, you could see the security personnel had aimed at Adwoa's car. So I'm just wondering, and I'm just asking, if indeed what the shots that they fired were warning shots, and they had aimed at Adwoa, it means that they had seen the driver. They saw that Adwoa was the one driving the car. If they didn't know, when you listen to the voices at the background, you could notice that they knew who was in the car, or they were familiar with the person in the car. But they aimed at her. When you watch the position of the security personnel, when you watch their pose very well, you wouldn't think that they were aiming for a warning shot. And I'm just wondering, when you look at Adwoa's car and the side of the car that had been riddled with bullets, I'm just wondering what sort of warning shot would go directly into the car. Because what I know is that a warning shot must be aimed up, except you are using a rubber bullet. But from all indication, from what we have seen, it's not a rubber bullet that was used. So it was an active bullet that could actually take the life of a person. And when you look at Adwoa's car, except to tell us that that car is not Adwoa's car, but if it is Adwoa's car, then I'm wondering what sort of warning shot could really enter a car like that. And if indeed they didn't know that Adwoa was the one driving the car, or they didn't see Adwoa at the driver's seat, then it means that they probably might have perceived that Adwoa would be at the back seat. That's why they shot into the back seat. I'm just analyzing what I've seen. Now, if nothing of that sort happened, if there was no shooting incident, as we have been told in the press statement that has been issued by the church, then the logical conclusion that I can come to is that Adwoa drove her car away from the venue or from the place that the incident happened, parked her car somewhere, shot, several times or multiple times into her own car, and drove the car into the police station, reported the incident. She was given an ambulance. But before she was given an ambulance, when she shot multiple times into the car, she probably took some of the pieces of the glasses that had fallen off and used it to cut herself. Do you understand? That is the only, logical conclusion I can come to. That's the only thing that could make sense to me. This notwithstanding, we have not heard Adwoa Safo's side of the story. So until she comes out to tell us her side of the story, after she has recovered, and we wish her speedy recovery, we can only go by what we have seen and what we have been told. But what we have been told, the things that we have heard from the lawyer's side, from the church, from the family, from what we have seen, do not align. And it's very confusing. So I'm just here to bring out the critical questions or the, relevant questions in my mind that I can ask concerning this situation. To me, a lot of things do not add up in this story. We need to know what really happened. Finally, the last thing that I would like to point out is, why is it that Akofena has not yet visited the sister in the hospital? Because, your sister has been involved in a very, very, very near fatal incident, okay? And we have seen ministers visit Adwoa Safo. I saw Michael Quaid Jr., who was the CEO of Ghana Free Zones under the Akufo-Addo administration, and also was a parliamentary aspirant for Dome-Kwabenya, but lost in the 2024 election. I saw him visit the hospital that Adwoa Safo was admitted in. I also saw the Deputy Minister of Health also visit her. So I'm just bewildered that a brother of a sister would hear that the sister has been involved in such a very unfortunate, life-threatening incident, and would not stop everything to check on the sister's condition. Because I cannot fathom how you would hear that your sister has been shot and you wouldn't feel the urgency to visit your sister in the hospital. Well, what do you think? Thank you very much for spending your time with me. I'm very grateful. Please like and share the videos and subscribe to this channel. I'm out.